Assalamualaikum. Dah, boleh start?
Salam. Okay.
Ya, kita tengok setakat mana boleh pergi ni. Okay, chapter number 6. Chapter number 6. Air conditioning system. Okay, subtopic ada 7 subtopic. So hari ni mungkin mana? Sikit je lah. Ya. Okay, we already cover power generation category. So now air conditioning will be under cooling and also heating system, same as the refrigerator. Okay, so the last topic for thermodynamic 2. Okay, so walaupun chapter number 6 dalam final optional, you can answer whether you can answer chapter number 6 or chapter number 5. But still, you need to learn chapter number 6 because later on, maybe, who knows, you will work at the company involved with air conditioning system. Okay, or maybe during the final and the chapter number 5, maybe difficult. I will ask you difficult question. Maybe you will have another option to answer chapter number 6. Maybe chapter number 6 in terms of difficulty less than chapter number 5. Okay. Okay. Air conditioning system. What is the difference between refrigeration and also air conditioning system? So if you look at the refrigerator, so the refrigerator consists of evaporator, expansion valve, condenser, and also the compressor, where we need to know amount of heat absorbed by the evaporator and also the refrigerant condition in terms of phase, enthalpy, pressure, temperature, and so on. And also, sometimes we need to know the amount of heat released to the surrounding for the refrigeration. Okay, so if you look at the air conditioning system, for the house air conditioning system, we can see that we will have two type of unit, indoor unit and also outdoor unit. So if we open the casing of the indoor and also outdoor unit, in terms of the main component for these two units, we will have the similar main component as the refrigerator, where for the indoor unit, we will have evaporator, expansion valve. For the outdoor unit, we will have condenser and also the compressor. So if you compare between refrigeration and also the main component for the air conditioning unit, so we will have the same main component, similar as the refrigerator, where we have evaporator, expansion valve, compressor, condenser. The air conditioning system also will use the refrigerant, depend the type of refrigerant used for the system. Okay, also we need to know amount of heat absorbed by the evaporator. But the main concern for chapter number 5, chapter number 6, if we compare to the refrigeration system, chapter number 5, chapter number 6, we doesn't care about what happened to the refrigerant. No need to determine the enthalpy for the refrigerant inlet of the compressor, outlet of the compressor, and so on. But our concern is the air condition in the room. How about the temperature of the air? How about the humidity of the air? How about the enthalpy of the air, and so on? So that our main concern for chapter number 6. Okay, so that's the difference. Where the condition of the room in terms of temperature, humidity, and so on will determine your comfort, the human comfort when stay in a rooms. Okay, so that's our concern in chapter number 6. Okay, so normally we need to determine the temperature of the air, the humidity of the air, and also the air flow rate, or the velocity of the air inside rooms. Okay, so there are two types of system for the air conditioning. So first system we call split unit air conditioning system. So we have indoor unit, outdoor unit. So in terms of main component, we have evaporator, compressor, condenser, and also additional component which is fan to distribute air to the rooms, and also to the to increase the efficiency in terms of heat removal from to the surrounding. Also, we have expansion valve. So this is the schematic diagram. If we draw the schematic diagram almost similar with this refrigeration. For this case, only we add a blower and also the additional fan to the condenser to increase the efficiency in terms of how we remove the air from surrounding, and also how do we distribute the air, the cool air to the inside the house. And the second one, we have centralized air conditioning system, especially this system will use for the big building. Okay, so normally for each floor, we can see that we will have a special room that used to store the air handling unit, AHU rooms, where inside the room we will have air handling unit, AHU. Okay, so this example in terms of the mechanism of the AHU. So the AHU will use to change the condition of a rooms. For example, for this schematic diagram, at the basement of the building, we will have chiller system and also boiler system, where the boiler will provide the hot water, the chiller will provide the cold water for the hot water for the heating process, cool water for the cooling process. Okay, for example, if we want to increase the temperature of a room, we need to switch on the boiler system. So the boiler system will provide hot water to the AHU, and we suck the fresh air from the surrounding, and we will have what I call heat transfer process in order to increase the temperature of the air, and the hot air will enter the cold room so that the temperature will increase. Okay, so if you want to reduce the temperature of a rooms, we need to switch on the chiller. So within the chiller also we will have what I call refrigeration system. So this refrigeration system will use to reduce the temperature of the cooling water. So the cooling water will enter the AHU, and the heat transfer process occur between the cooling water and also the fresh air from the surrounding. So the air temperature reduce, the cool air will enter the rooms so that the temperature will reduce. Okay, this is how the simplified mechanism of air handling unit for the centralized air conditioning system. Okay, so the cooling tower at the what I call at the rooftop of the building will use a similar as the condenser, where the cooling tower will use to remove the heat from the cooling water, when the cooling water absorb the heat, so the heat will release through the cooling tower. Okay, so normally the AHU will have two parts. First part we call air return part. We can see the main component will have damper to control the volume flow rate of the air. We have a blower to distribute or to suck the air from the rooms. So the used air from the room will release to surrounding, or sometimes the air will be recycled inside the AHU rooms. The second part we call air supply part, where for the second part is the most important for the air conditioning system, where we have numbers of process involved. Okay, we have damper to control the volume, flow rate. We have filter to filter any bacteria, any odor or any virus before entering the rooms. We have cooling element for the cooling process. If you want to reduce the temperature of the air, we also have what I call the heating element if you want to increase the temperature of the air. Okay, so the blower will use to distribute the air to the rooms. So these are two main parts of the AHU. Okay. Any question at this moment? Any question about the AHU air handling unit?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So now in chapter number 6, we will learn different process, four different process in the AHU that we use to to change the temperature, to change and also to change the humidity of the air. Okay. And also we want to know what I call the basic air conditioning for for human comfort in terms of thermodynamic properties, such as humidity, temperature, relative humidity, specific humidity, and so on. Okay, so before we discuss detail about the process, so we need to know what the difference between dry air and also atmospheric air. What the difference between dry air and also atmospheric air. So our air consists of around 78% of nitrogen gas, 20.9 or 21% oxygen. The rest will be neon, argon, krypton, CO2, and also H2O. So water in term of dalam bentuk vapor, okay, water vapor. So the air without H2O we call dry air. Okay, without H2O, without water vapor, we consider as dry air. The air with moisture or water vapor, sometimes we call moisture, sometimes we call water vapor, we call atmospheric air. So these are the main difference between dry air and also atmospheric air. Okay, so these two type of air we'll use for air conditioning application. So now because we have two, we consider as two substances, the gas and also the water vapor. So the air in air conditioning application we consider as a mixture between dry air and also water vapor. So for dry air, in terms of phase, will remain as gas, and the mass of the dry air will be constant throughout the process. However, for water vapor, the phase will not constant. Sometimes the water vapor will change into liquid through the condensation process. Sometimes will change into vapor through the evaporation process. For sure, through the process, the mass of the water vapor will change, depend on the process. Okay, so the amount of water inside the air will determine the human comfort. So that's why it is important to know the humidity and also the temperature of the air inside a specific rooms. Okay. Okay, in terms of temperature range for air conditioning application between -10 degree to 50 degrees Celsius, which is this temperature include the cooling process and also heating process. So dry air, in terms of symbol, we will use A as a symbol for dry air. V is a symbol for the water vapor. Okay. So dry air, we can consider as dry ideal gas. So whatever equation that involves with ideal gas, we can implement for dry air. For example, if we want to determine the enthalpy change for the dry air, we can use this formula, delta H A, which is referred to dry air, equal to Cp, specific heat at constant pressure for dry air, multiplied by temperature change. If we use reference temperature as 0, so the equation will be simplified as HA equal to SPA multiplied by temperature in degrees Celsius. Okay. So the Cp value that we use in air conditioning system normally change with temperature. However, in order to simplify the calculation, we will use the constant Cp value, where we just take the average value of Cp for the temperature range between -10 to 50. So the value will be around CPA equal to 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, so this is the value that we use for the specific heat for the dry air. However, for water vapor, also for the air conditioning application, we consider as ideal gas. And we also can use the ideal gas formula for the water vapor. Okay, because if you look at the TV diagram shown in this slide, we have a certain area that we consider water as ideal gas, which is represented by the the red color area region. So this region we can apply, or we can implement, or we can assume the water vapor in the air as the ideal gas. So that's why we can use the formula for the ideal gas in terms of enthalpy, for example. Delta H equal to Cp for water multiplied by delta T, multiplied by delta T. Okay. So in terms of enthalpy for air conditioning, enthalpy for the water is equal to enthalpy for saturated condition, which is Hg, where we can determine the value of Hg by using the saturated water table. Okay. So because the implementation of air conditioning system in terms of pressure, the pressure will be constant at 1 atm. So the value of HV, we can take the value of HV enthalpy for the water vapor, we can take Hg at specific pressure by using the table of water, saturated water. Okay, apa lagi? So in order to determine HV, you can use the saturated water table, or you can use this equation where HV also more or less equal to 2500.9 plus 1.82 multiplied by temperature in degrees Celsius. So these are the formula of enthalpy for dry air and also water vapor. Soalan tak? Formula So formula normally given in the question, tak perlu hafal.
Betul, CP dia tu memang tetap 1.005
CP constant 1.005 for a dry air.
So kalau temperature dia berbeza?
Maintain 1.005.
Okay.
But for water, we will use a different value of CP. CP for water vapor equal to 1.82 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay. Okay, now because both water vapor and also dry air is we consider as ideal gas, so we can use the formula involved with ideal gas, especially PVMRT or PVRT. And P in this equation refer to the P total. For air conditioning application, P total is 1 atm. However, because the atmospheric air is a mixture of water vapor plus dry air, so we need to consider different pressure in terms of partial pressure for dry air and also partial pressure of water vapor. So P total for the atmospheric air actually is the combination of the summation of partial pressure of dry air and also partial pressure of water vapor. Okay tak? Boleh? Any question about the equation of enthalpy and also the equation of the mixture?
Tak ada.
Yeah. Okay, other type of specific other parameters of air conditioning system, which is referred to the humidity. So we have two type of humidity, specific and also relative humidity, where the humidity will determine the human comfort in the rooms, where the humidity depend on the amount of water vapor inside the air. Okay, so we have specific humidity represented by omega. So we have numbers of equation. The general equation of omega equal to mv, the mass of water vapor, divided by the mass of dry air. If we substitute the formula PVMRT, so we will get the second equation where omega equal to 0.622 PV, partial pressure of water vapor, divided by partial pressure of dry air. And the value of 0.6 the gas constant. Okay, so if we use the first equation and we substitute what we call by using the PVMRT formula, so we will get MV divided by MA equal to RATA PV VV divided by RV TV PA VA. So if we consider rooms, for example, consists of the red dot represent a dry air, amount of dry air. The blue dot represent the water vapor. So in the same room, in terms of temperature, if we consider separate substance, dry air and also water vapor, in the same room, the temperature will be the same. Temperature of dry air and also temperature of the water vapor will be the same. If the room temperature 25, temperature of dry air will be 25. Temperature of the water vapor also will be 25. And because the properties of the water vapor and also dry air is a gas, so if we put different gases in a room, so each individual gases will take the volume of the room. If the room is 25 meter cubic, volume for dry air also 25 meter cubic. Volume for water vapor also 25 meter cubic. However, the partial pressure, PA, partial pressure for dry air is not equal to partial pressure of water vapor and not equal to the total pressure of the room, the air inside the room. So that's why we can cancel out the term of the temperature for both the term of the volume for both dry air and also water vapor. That's why the remaining terms in the equation will be mv divided by ma, which is represent the omega, equal to Ra divided by Rv multiplied by Pv divided by Pa. So Ra divided by Rv will give you the value of 0.622 in the second equation.
Betul.
Yep.
R2 still 0.287 ke?
0.287.
Untuk air. Kan?
Dia lain. Dia ada nilai dia. So we'll have different value of Ra and also different value of Rv.
Okay.
Okay, replace with total pressure formula, where total pressure formula equal to PA plus PV, partial pressure of dry air plus partial pressure of water vapor. So you will get the third equation. So P represents total pressure, PV represent partial pressure of water vapor. So by referring to the what I call the value of omega, omega will explain the amount of water vapor. If omega value increase, so we will know that water vapor or moisture content inside the air will increase. Okay. So which equation we need to use depend according the parameter, the data that we have. So if we have MV and also MA, so probably in order to determine the omega value, you can use equation number 1. If you have the what I call the value of partial pressure for water vapor and also dry air, so you can use the second one. So depend on the data that you have. Okay, the second parameter that describe the humidity, the amount of humidity, is the relative humidity, psi, represented by psi symbol. Will determine the comfort level in a room. So the general formula for psi, relative humidity, equal to mv, water vapor mass, divided by mg, or I call the water vapor during the saturation process. So mg represent the maximum amount of moisture that air can hold at the same temperature. For example, if in a room we have called the gray object represent the what I call maybe the steel inside a rooms. So the red color represent dry air, the blue color point represent the water vapor. So for example, if we increase the amount of water vapor content in the room, let's say we spray what I call the water vapor inside the rooms, so the numbers of blue dot will increase, which represent the increase of moisture content inside the rooms. So at a certain point, because too many the moisture content increase too high, so at a certain point, we will have condensation process occur at the surface of the steel. So the water vapor change into the liquid water. So just after the condensation process, the amount of water vapor inside the room we consider as mg. Okay, just after the condensation process. Okay, so that amount of the water vapor in the air at that particular time we refer as mg. So psi equal to mv divided by mg. Okay, so if you implement PVMRT formula, so we'll get the second equation for psi also equal to partial pressure of water vapor divided by partial pressure of of the pressure during saturated condition, which is also same as P set. So PG also equal to P set at certain temperature. Okay, so the range of value for psi will be minimum will be 0, maximum will be 1.0. For dry air condition, the value of psi will be 0, no moisture content. For the saturated air, just after the condensation process occur, the value of psi will be 1.0. If we add more moisture, so the water vapor inside the rooms or inside the air will condense. Okay. Okay, if we consider saturated air condition, for the omega formula, instead of we use PV, we need to replace PV with PG for saturated air condition when psi equal to 1.0. Okay, another, if you combine the formula, so these are the formula for psi and also omega. So all the formula will be given in the appendix for chapter number 6. Tidak ada soalan? Any question about the formula? Dah tidur lah?
Saya ada, doktor.
Dah?
Saya ada,
Okay.
doktor.
Sikit lagi,
Ada.
ada formula sikit lagi. Total enthalpy formula. Apa ni? Okay. H equal to HA plus HV. So capital letter H represent the enthalpy. The unit will be joule or kilojoule. So we know that enthalpy equal to mass multiplied by specific enthalpy. So we just change based on this formula. So total enthalpy equal to MA, mass for dry air multiplied by enthalpy for dry air plus mass for water vapor multiplied by enthalpy for water vapor. So we divide equation number 2 with MA. So we'll get small letter enthalpy represent the total specific enthalpy for the air equal to HA plus MV divided by MA multiplied by HV equal to HA plus omega HV because MV divided by MA actually equal to omega. And HV, as I mentioned before, also equal to Hg, where we can obtain Hg value from the saturated water table. So this is the final equation for enthalpy. If the question asks you about the total enthalpy of the air, where H equal to HA plus omega multiplied by Hg. The unit will be kilojoule, kilojoule per kg of air. Okay, the unit will be kilojoule per kilogram of dry air. So you need to state kilogram for dry air because the second equation divided by MA. MA stand for the mass of dry air. Okay, you lagi. Berapa dah 4 suku? Tengok 4,5 macam mana?
Tengah cari.
Boleh?
Betul. Chapter ni macam lagi susah je.
Susah tak susah, tapi sebab dia formula.
Hmm.
Formula saja nampak macam susah. Nanti you tengok
Okay.
Okay, kita tengok example ni satu cukup lah. Example ni satu je boleh Lepas tu kita buat quizy sekejap, habis.
Okay.
Okay, for example, a 5 meter time 5 meter time 3 meter rooms contain air at 25 degrees Celsius and 100 kilopascal at the relative humidity of 75%. Determine. So if this kind of question, for example, the temperature given is 25 degrees Celsius. This is referred to the temperature of the room temperature. 100 kilopascal refer to the total pressure. Okay, relative humidity of 75% refer to the psi. Okay. So the question asks you to determine the partial pressure of dry air, PA. B, specific humidity, omega. C, the enthalpy per unit mass of dry air. So the question C asks you the total enthalpy, not HA, but the total enthalpy, H. So here the question mentioned the enthalpy per unit mass of dry air because the unit is kilojoule per kilogram of dry air. And the last one, you need to determine the mass of dry air, MA, and also mass of water vapor, MV. So you need to use the equation that we have learned just now to determine, to answer the question. Okay. Okay, partial pressure of dry air. So data given indirectly from the table, from the question. So you need to determine the volume. 5 times 5 times 3, you will get 75 meter cubic in terms of volume of the room. So volume of the room also represent the volume of dry air and also the volume of water vapor. Temperature 25 degrees Celsius, room temperature also represent the temperature of the air, dry air, and also the temperature of the water vapor. So PA will not equal to PV. Psi given is 0.75. P total equal to 100 kilopascal. So we know that the formula for the total pressure is PA plus PV. So we already have 100 kilopascal, which is total pressure. We want to know the PA. So PV we can determine from the formula, psi formula, where psi equal to PV divided by PG. Rearrange the equation, we will get PV equal to psi multiplied by PG. Psi 0.75, PG equal to P saturated at 25 degrees Celsius. So you can refer to saturated water table. At temperature 25, you will get P saturated 3.169.
Betul.
Yeah.
P total tu dia ambil mana 100 kan?
Apa?
P total.
Dalam soalan. From the question.
Okay.
Okay. So from P saturated from table, you can determine PV. Okay. PV obtained. You can determine PA, partial pressure for the dry air. So you already answer question A. Okay tak?
Okay. Oh, ni.
Ada soalan tak?
Okay.
Any question? How to determine partial pressure of dry air? Boleh?
Boleh dah.
Okay, specific humidity. Okay, you cari, you tengok formula apa yang boleh. So you need to, because we have numbers of equation for omega, so you need to choose, for example, from the appendix, which equation that's suitable to use. For this case, you need to identify the data that you have in the question and also in the solution for question A before you determine which equation that you need to use for the omega. So for this case, the second equation is suitable to use. Second equation ke the third? Omega equal to 0.622 PV divided by total pressure minus PV. So PV you already calculate and total pressure already given 100 kilopascal. Just substitute in the equation, you will get omega equal to 0.015152 kilogram H2O divided by kilogram dry air. Okay, if you look at the unit, both kilogram, because the original equation for omega is MV for water divided by MA for dry air. Although the unit is same, kilogram per kilogram, so you cannot cancel out the unit because the parameter is for different substance. That's why the unit will be kilogram H2O divided kilogram dry air. So you cannot cancel out. If the substance is the same, you can cancel out the unit. But for this case, you cannot cancel out. So you need to put kilogram H2O for the water divided by kilogram of the dry air. So that's the unit for the omega. Okay?
Betul.
Yep.
Slide belakang Ustaz.
Apa?
Okay. P set kan at 25.
P set, okay.
3.169 equal to PV, betul tak?
Bukan PG. PV, okay, PV, okay.
PV
Sorry,
equal to PG,
PG.
equal to P set juga kan?
PG equal to P set.
Okay. So tapi kat situ 100 kilopascal tolak dengan PV. So PV kita tu bukan 3.169.
Bukan. PV kamu ni 2.38 kilopascal. Saya tak kira kat sini. Sepatutnya kat sini ada, suppose dekat sini PV equal to psi PG. So dekat bawah ni ada satu step lagi. PV equal to psi 0.75 multiply by P set at 25 degrees Celsius, 3.169 kilopascal equal to 2.38 kilopascal. Satu step kat sini.
Okay.
Boleh saya skip kat situ.
Okay.
Okay. Boleh. Yang kat sini. Ini ni. Patutnya ada kat atas ni. Boleh.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay, the enthalpy per unit mass of dry air. So this is the formula. H equal to HA plus omega Hg. HA you need to determine. So we have the formula HA equal to CPA multiplied by T, temperature in degrees Celsius, plus omega. Omega you already determined equation B. Hg you need to determine by using the table. Hg at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. So Cp for the air 1.005 kilojoule per kg degree Celsius multiply with the temperature is 25. So you get HA 25 degrees Celsius. You will get 25.125 kilogram per kilogram of dry air. So you need to put kilogram of dry air because the original equation divided by mass of dry air. Okay, you already obtained HA. So you need to determine Hg. So Hg at 25 degrees Celsius, 2547.2 kilojoule per kilogram. So substitute into the equation. So you'll get total enthalpy will be 63.8 kilojoule per kilogram dry air. Okay, sikit lagi. Question D, mass of dry air. To determine the mass, you can use the formula for ideal gas, PV-MRT. So rearrange the equations, you will get MA equal to PA VA RAT. PA refer to the partial pressure of dry air. You already determine equation A. VA, you already calculate for room volume of the room. RA normally given. So RA equal to 0.287 gas constant for dry air. For this equation, the temperature must be in Kelvin. Okay, substitute the value. So we'll get MA equal to 85.61 kilogram. So similar for the water vapor, you can use the same equation because water vapor and dry air we consider as ideal gas. So MV equal to PV VV divided by RVT or omega multiplied by MA. So we'll get MV equal to 1.30 kilogram. Okay. Ada soalan tak?
Ada.
Ada. Okay, that's all for today. Sorry, chapter 6 sampai sini saja. Kita buat quiz sikit boleh?
Boleh.
Okay, quizy 15 minit maximum saja. Lepas tu after 15 minit I will end the quizy. Okay?
Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Chapter number 6 we continue next week. Maybe next week will be face to face, maybe mungkin. Tak tahu, tak pasti lagi.
Face to face.
Okay, quizy. Okay, masuk.
Ya.
Quizy for chapter number 5. So attendance for session number 2 will refer to or what I call your answer for quizy. How many students? Student 66. 65.
Kod apa tu? Kod.
Kod.
Ini kod dia.